All right, Rebecca, I think we're all set here.
All right, let's get started. Good evening, families and eighth graders. We are so excited to have you here tonight to welcome you to Bloomington Online School, eighth grade orientation session. My name is Rebecca Brower. I am the program coordinator, so you can think of me like a principal, but not quite. Sort of think of me that way. But I'm here to help answer questions and help support teachers and help support students. So we're so glad you're here tonight. Our agenda for the evening, we're going to introduce you to your teachers and courses, give you a little bit of information about what the course will be. We'll talk about your supply list, technology setup, make sure that you have what you need to get ready for school. You'll see us schedule a day in the life of an eighth grader. We'll talk about attendance, and then at the very end, we'll have a Q&A session where you'll be able to chat in your questions, and we will do our very best to answer them. So let's get to the part that you're all excited about, and that is meeting your teachers and seeing what you're going to be learning.
Oh, hold on. We can't hear you, Elizabeth.
2 nights in a row I was muted. I'm so sorry. Okay, practice. I'm learning with this. So, hi, I'm Elizabeth Hills. I am teaching 8th grade math this year, 3 sections of that, as well as a 7th grade math. So some of you I have had in the past, as I have previously taught 7th grade math at Oak Grove for the last 8 years. So I'm excited to step into this new position. I've taught 8th grade math as well, a section each year. So it is not all new, but focusing on 8th grade this year will be new to me. And I am so excited about that. Before I talk about what we'll get into, a little bit about me. I am a mom of 4. I have my little Jackson, 11 months old, Blakely, who is 3, Sloan 6, and Carter 11. So a busy household around here. I was born and raised in Minnesota, so I've been here my whole life. Love everything about Minnesota. I also did my undergrad and grad school through Mankato, so again, in state here. And like I said, I've been teaching math for the last 8 years in Bloomington at Oak Grove specifically. So focus of 7th grade with 8th grade as well. I love everything: water, sunshine, boating, walking, basically whatever my kids want to do, I am up for. So swimming, anything outdoor related is kind of what we focus on. This year, however, focusing in math, we are starting algebra. So Algebra 8 is the title of the course, and we are going to be focusing on so many fun new topics. So taking what we did in 7th grade and prior and really building on that to focus on some linear functions, which is basically talking about lines and what is that y equals mx plus b equation. You guys will know that by heart by the end and what all those variables stand for. We'll be talking about Pythagorean theorem, which is new, taking what we know about solving equations and solving multi-step equations, sequences, interpreting data, scientific notation. So many fun new topics that we will be going on with this year and talking about. So I am so excited to be here and to be teaching 8th grade math for all of you. So.
Hi, I'm Greg Urbish. I'm going to be the 8th grade social studies or global studies teacher. Again, I've had probably a few of you guys in 7th grade, and unlike some of the things that we've done, I am new to this particular course. I've been in Bloomington for over 20 years, and I think the last time I taught 8th grade was 20 years ago. And then I think about what was 8th grade social studies and geography like when I was in 8th grade. Lots has changed. So I guess I look at this as more of a challenge for me too. Certainly there are standards that we go by, but I'm also trying to interpret this and figure out, well, how can I take this course and make it something that's unique and new and personal for all of you guys, because you guys are the ones who are taking this in, and this is a new content to do as well. So I kind of look at things as course questions. So things like, how can we understand past and present global relationships through current issues and trends? Being a history teacher primarily, taught 7th grade, and looking at things through government, all of that fits in with this for sure. How is the world changing? Demographics, globalization, immigration patterns, what I like to call the luck of geography, because we didn't really do anything necessarily to get where we are. We're just here. And a lot of that has to do with the opportunities that we get and the opportunities that other people don't have. So something I call luck of geography. And then looking at it in terms of what is your role as a global citizen. There are always going to be course themes, obviously, with geography and global studies: location, place, human environment interaction, movement, regions, all of that. But again, I'm just going to be honest. It is something that I'm going to be developing specifics on and that I'm going to be really working hard at. I'll use those course questions, those themes, and the standards for sure. But I also think this is kind of cool because this is a totally new way to do this. And again, I like the challenge of doing that and know that I'm going to work really hard at it. So I'll do that for you guys as much as I can. Just a couple of quick things about me. My wife, that's me and my wife. We were actually at Comic-Con last year at the Comic-Con Museum that just had opened. I'm sure some of you guys know that, what Comic-Con is, but in San Diego, we go there every year for this giant pop culture festival of comics and movies and games and all that stuff. And we've been going for the last 15 years. This was actually the first time we haven't gone because of COVID. But so I missed that. But my wife, Paula, she's also going to be working from home. We don't live in a huge place. But she's a middle school counselor for Minnetonka Middle School West. So we've each kind of had to carve out our own space for this as well. Just a couple of things, just quick bio about me. I was born in Michigan, but spent most of my life in Minnesota. I grew up in a tiny place called Deer River, Minnesota in northern Minnesota. I actually lived in a town of 5 families before that called Cutfoot. From there, I graduated Deer River High School. I went to the University of Minnesota Duluth twice. That sounds weird, but I actually graduated and then went back again. And then got my master's degree in teaching from St. Mary's University. I've taught in Bloomington for 22 years now. I started out at Bravo Middle School, which is what Valley View currently is. And then I've been at Valley View since 2001, and now Bloomington Online School. Yay. So like a third version of school for me. In a former life, the reason why I was in college for a couple of times at UMD, I actually worked as an archaeologist for the Superior National Forest. I did that for several years while I was in college. And then when I graduated, I actually worked for the University of Minnesota Duluth as a survey tech and as an archaeologist who would go around and doing lake surveys with canoes and all that fun stuff. So I did that for a while as well. So I'm really looking forward to working with you guys and taking on a new adventure. It's going to be awesome. So thanks, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
That's me. Everybody's talking about where they grew up and stuff. I don't really have a spot. I was a military brat, so I kind of moved everywhere. My name is Mr. Dro, or Tim Dro, and I'm going to be teaching Earth Science this year, 8th grade. Super excited. I haven't taught it in a while, but honestly, I've been kind of like nerding out on the Earth history. It was like one of my favorite courses when I was in college as an undergrad. And I don't know, like in the past year, I've just been finding tons of YouTube stuff and just, I don't know, learning about it is really, really cool, like what's happened in our Earth in the past. So 8th grade's Earth Science, you guys are going to kind of go over the systems that drive our Earth and drive our solar system, and look at the different systems, whether it's, or the different spheres. So like the hydrosphere, the atmosphere, the lithosphere, and everything that makes up the Earth and all of its processes we're going to kind of examine this year. So big change from 7th grade, which is what I've been traditionally teaching. I've taught at Oak Grove, for I think like 13 years. I've taught 7th grade science, and I did teach 8th grade science before that as well. So it'll be a nice like change. And like I said, I'm super into it right now anyway. So the subject's just really interesting. So I hope that passion like comes across when I'm teaching all you guys. So a little bit about me. Gosh, I like being outside exploring our Earth. How about that? So I love snowboarding. I do ski. I skied as a kid, but snowboarding, boy, when it's wintertime, I love that stuff. Cross-country skiing too. I'm really into mountain biking, anything cycling on 2 wheels, motorcycling. You see a picture of my daughter, Cora. She's 5. She's even out there with a dragonfly on her hand. Super excited for catching that. There's my puppy too. That's Beckett. She's out on the boat hanging out with me. We like to get out on the water as much as I can. I'm also really into running, so that's me running the Marine Corps Marathon last October. It was pouring rain, just like dumping on me. I was soaked from mile number 1. And anyway, most of my schoolwork was done on frogs. So I have 2 undergrad degrees, and I got them from Bemidji State, and I looked into leopard frogs here in Minnesota, and then my master's is in biology. I got that in California, and I was looking at bullfrogs there. So I guess if my research is focused on anything, it's been on frogs. But boy, I just love so much about science, and like I said, geeking out about earth science, really excited to teach it. So that's a little bit about me. Thanks.
Hey everybody, my name is Kirsten Beckett. I will be teaching 8th grade language arts. I'm originally a teacher at Valley View Middle School and have been teaching 8th grade there for the last 4 years. 8th grade is really my jam. I'm really excited to teach 8th grade for Bloomington Online Schools. And this year in language arts, we're going to be focusing on literature analysis. So we'll be reading some novels, some short stories, analyzing some films and media. And then also, I don't even think it's in there, but we'll also be looking at the Holocaust and the Diary of Anne Frank, just like we would if we were in a brick and mortar. We're going to do some research projects, some reading, some journaling, and some word studies. So it's going to be awesome. I'm so excited to move forward with this new curriculum with you guys. It's going to be great. Just a little bit about me. I grew up in Rosemount, so not too far from here. I went to school at Winona State University and I got my master's in both special ed and reading from Mankato State. I found a home here in Bloomington probably like 7 years ago. I taught 7th grade for a few years with Mr. Urbish, and then I moved to 8th grade for 4 years ago. A few things about my personal life. I have 2 daughters. My oldest is Amelia, she's 3, and then my youngest is Eleanor, she's 1. I guarantee at some point Eleanor will cry, so you will hear her. We recently moved to Richfield, and so, you know, my pastimes have been mostly working on our house. So house projects and hiking. We live right next to Wood Lake Nature Center, and so we've done a lot of stuff in there. Treats, I love coffee and chocolate, so those things warm my heart. I love learning and discussing what I've learned, so that's probably why I love being a teacher, because I'm a lifelong learner. And I do really enjoy practicing yoga and Pilates and staying active with hiking. And then lastly, travel. Haven't gotten to do much of that this year, but definitely looking forward to it in the future. So that's a little bit about me. I am so excited to meet you and get to know my new 8th grade students. I can't wait to do that later this year.
Hi, my name is Ray Cannon. I am the K-8 technology integrationist, as well as 6 through 8 music exploration. A little bit about the course. Music exploration is a classroom-based as opposed to performance-based music course, where students will be examining how music is used within a culture as a form of self and cultural expression. In other words, how is your music your music? Why is your music your music? Students will examine music from their world, or your world, and use it to make connections to other cultures and time periods. By the end of the course, we're going to be creating a piece of music and presenting it in your way. So it's very project-based. We're going to be building, creating, trying to create, and just do new things with music that we've never done before. It's all about you. It's all about your music. So that's the exciting thing about this course. A little bit about me. I was born in New York, went to college in Nebraska, and then moved up here 24 years ago to teach at Valley View Elementary. I've been there for 24 years. And now I'm moving into middle school here, and I'm excited to make the leap. And I just recently finished my master. I went to college in Peru State, Nebraska, in Peru State College in Nebraska. And now I just finished my master's degree at St. Catherine University, and it was in tech integration. So I'm really excited to be in the online school because it gives me a chance to put together the things I love, music and technology, and just bring something new and exciting. So things about me as far as what I love roller coasters. My picture is a picture of me at my 900th roller coaster in Beijing in China. It was my 900th. I'm now up to 1,150 different roller coasters all over the world. So that's a little bit about me, and I can't wait to get to know more about you and what drives you and what motivates you and what kind of music you listen to, because I'm excited to hear about that as well. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to introduce another of our teachers, Miss Turner, who's not able to be here with us tonight, but Julie Turner is one of our special ed teachers. She has worked at Oak Grove Middle, she's worked at Valley View, and she, a little bit about her, she loves gardening and cooking, and she's got 2 daughters. You can see kind of her web map all about herself. And if we go to her next slide, Julie's message to you is that you may see her in some of your core classes. She will be there to help support during instruction and navigating the courses. You all also may work together one-on-one for more targeted services, and she's really excited to meet everyone, to be one of your teachers this year. She will be reaching out very soon. If you haven't heard from a case manager in your special ed, then Julie may be one of them. We also have another special ed teacher, Lynn Rousted, so you may be hearing from one of them. And that's right. Okay, I was going to say her video doesn't actually work here, but we will be posting a link to this presentation as well as the supply list on our Bloomington Online School website, and you will be able to go on and take a look and make sure that you're ready. So 8th grade, this is your supply list. You do not need to get the novel. You do need to, that will be supplied for you. However, the other things, your 8th grade teachers compiled a list for you so that you'll be all ready for the first day of school and the supplies that you'll need. Like I said, this will be posted, so you don't have to worry about writing it down, or you could take a picture of it, I guess. So supply list. And what's next? Tech setup. We're going to have Mr. Rummel talk about tech setup.
All right, so we're going to just explain a little bit about the technology we have in the program. So one, as Bloomington online students and actually Bloomington public school students, every student will have a touchscreen Chromebook. So most of the students starting 8th grade have that already. So if you already have one at home, you're all set. If you need one, you can go to your previously scheduled middle school on September 1st or 2nd for pickup between 8 and 3. And there'll be procedures there around doing that in a safe way. And then new to Bloomington, so if you're new to Bloomington Public Schools, you would go to Valley View Middle School during that same time period to pick up your Chromebook. In Bloomington Public Schools, we have 3 systems that work together, and they work together under one password. So we have the Hub, we have Canvas, and then we have the suite of applications from Google. And so parents and guardians, you can look up your student's password now. So you would look it up in the Hub under Profile, and then go to Passwords, and then you can share that with your student. Obviously, internet access is going to be extremely important this year. And so if you have concerns around that, there are 3 ways that the district can help with that. One, there are 2 $10 a month options for eligible families. There is a way to apply for Internet Essentials broadband internet from the Education Foundation of Bloomington. And then we have hotspots that can be checked out. We would recommend the first and second option as our first attempts to really give you access that's going to kind of include high-speed internet that's going to really work for you. And then the hotspot does work. It works well, but we see it as a backup to the other 2 options. If you go to bit.ly, so bit.ly/BPS internet, you'll see this information. So now we're going to talk about the schedule. So Monday, so this is a view at the schedule from a student's perspective. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, we begin the day with a launch course. That is synchronized. It's a synchronous session, so a live session that students sign into with their launch teacher, similar to advisory or homeroom. So that really is the touch point to start the day. At 9:30, between 9:30 and 11:30, it's the first 2 core classes. And then we have a break at 11:30 for lunch and an active brain break, getting away from the screen, hopefully. And then we have drop-in hours, kind of like office hours, but drop-in hours for students to check in with teachers starting at 12:15. And then at 1 o'clock, between 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock, it's courses 3 and 4. And then at 3 o'clock, we shift to our exploratory courses. And the drop-in there really is mentioning about teacher scheduling time with teachers. And then on Wednesday, we begin again with the launch. And then we have independent work and teacher check-in time starting at 9:30. And then at 11:30, there's a lunch and active brain break again. At 12:30, we have independent work happening. We have base group working, so collaboration happening between students during that time. And then at 3:30, again, at end of the day, kind of check-in time if students want to be checking in with students. I see a note there and a question that the schedule in Infinite Campus has very different times. And so these are the correct times. So we're working on taking care of that discrepancy. So that will be fixed very soon. So when we talk about online learning, we have 2 terms that are oftentimes used, synchronous and asynchronous. So synchronous learning is when you're online and it's real-time learning. So you are in a Google Meet with the teacher or with other students, and you are having conversations and you're working through things together. Asynchronous is learning that occurs through through online channels without real-time interaction. And we use Canvas as our learning management system. So in this program, we put equal value on those elements, so synchronous and asynchronous. So asynchronous time is really important, whether you're working on group assignments or working on individual assignments. That's an important part of the online learning experience. Synchronous time is not about teachers lecturing or teacher whole group instruction. It might be synchronous time with small groups. It might be checking in and having discussions around the content of the class. It really depends on how the teacher has designed that time. And then asynchronous time is around community building, relationship building, news and updates, breakout groups, sharing, socializing, small group discussions, really a lot of community building, of course, but also then moving into content, a lot of working through and active learning rather than the direct instruction that we would move to video in asynchronous instruction. So asynchronous instruction, again, is around teacher video instruction, independent practice, reflection, creation, a balance of digital and non-digital. So like mentioning a novel there on the supply list, like having the paper copy of the novel is a nice way to get away from the screen and also work with text in a different way. Sharing, collaboration, feedback, of course, working on assignments. Let's see, Rebecca, do you want to talk about attendance?
Sure.
All right.
All right, so we are going to have our students every day log into the hub and check in. This will be a daily routine in your first group. We're going to call it launch. You can think of it like advisory period or homeroom. But during launch, you will log in, you'll check in for the day, and that's how we'll take our main attendance. Parents and guardians, if you have a sick child or something else comes up and your student will not be participating for the day, please report the absence to our attendance line. And again, we'll have this posted on the Bloomington Online School homepage, so it'll be easy to access. But we ask that, just like in the past, you call in to report the absence for your student if he or she won't be there. So expectations around attendance. During those synchronous lessons, students are expected to participate in the synchronous Google Meets. I saw a question if we would be using Zoom or Google Meets, and we are going to be using Google Meets. If a student is unable to attend a synchronous lesson, so one of those in-person lessons, we just ask that you communicate with the teacher ahead of time and arrange for an alternate instruction plan. If you unexpectedly miss a meeting, please just communicate with the teacher and make arrangements for catching up. During asynchronous time, the expectations are that the students should put forth effort on their asynchronous tasks every day. These kind of tasks are academic instruction, practice, reflection. And if your student is having a hard time completing daily tasks, please contact your student's teacher. You can contact me, and we will work with you and work with your student to provide the correct supports that he or she may need. A few other notes about our attendance expectations. We do understand that Bloomington Online School is a new format for learning. It's new for students, it's new for teachers, and so we will ease into our attendance policies throughout the beginning of the year. We will do a lot of reminding and a lot of teaching of the different of our different procedures and expectations. There will be supports in place to help students learn how to be a successful online student. And we also understand that the unexpected things come up. We know we're in a pandemic, and we know that things are not normal as they have been to us before. So please, we want to partner with you and make this schedule work and make them successful in this platform. So we have reached the time of our session where we will take questions and do our best to answer them. Teachers, if you want to come back, what we'll do is we will kind of read out the questions as we see them, and then teachers can jump in and answer, or Andrew or I can answer. Let's see.
So I see a question there. Is everything going to be divided into trimesters or quarters? So just to respond to that, that is a similar system to our kind of traditional middle schools. And yes, so we'll be using the same grading periods for the courses.
Which is quarters. Is that what you said, Andrew?
Yeah.
Yep. So I saw a question a little bit earlier. Are these the teachers that will be for dimensions? So Bloomington Online School does not have a separate gifted and talented program. What we do have is a group of teachers that are extremely, they're experienced and they're dedicated, and quite a few of them have worked either in Nobel or Dimensions Academy with those students. What we did do is group students from Nobel and Dimensions Academy together so that they can work together and support each other. And we also are partnering with the Gifted and Talented program so that they can help meet the needs of students where they're at. So yes, these are the teachers of all students in 8th grade. And I hope that addresses the question.
All right, so I see another question around, let's see, will there be packets of materials that would need to be picked up each month like the elementary school? And so we will have moments where materials will need to be picked up throughout the year. Those we'll be starting the year without a pickup time for materials. We'll be starting with online tools and getting kids used to learning in that format through those tools. But then we'll be communicating around times for pickup, especially as we think about the work that teachers are trying to do with kids.
It says, one of the questions, it looks like one of the quarters doesn't have an exploratory, and that is correct. We have art, Phy-Ed and health, and music exploration as our 3 exploratories. So one of the quarters, and we're starting, they will rotate. So 6th grade will start without an exploratory as they ease into learning this new online format and may need some more supports, and then they'll rotate through. So you'll have one quarter without an exploratory. As far as art and Phy-Ed, I see a question about, will it be mainly health? No, it won't be. It will address the same standards that the other middle schools use, that all of Bloomington Public Schools use for 8th grade Phy-Ed and health, will be covered in our online format. So it may look different, but the same standards are covered in these courses.
I see a question now, will there be facts and art? So we do have art as an exploratory, but we do not have facts as an exploratory. I see a student, maybe potentially a student question there. Can I use my personal computer and then have the Chromebook as a backup? So obviously, if you have devices beyond a Chromebook, that you are able to use those. But there are certain things within a Chromebook that you do need to use at certain times. So if there are particular apps that are that we have you add to the Chromebook so that you can be using them for your classes. And I would say the Chromebooks are set up so that we can assist with technology concerns as they come up.
I saw there were a couple questions as far as if I would be teaching intermediate algebra and the honors geometry courses, and I will not be. Rebecca Brower, do you want to just double check?
Yes.
I believe who will be covering those courses?
We've got high school teachers covering those courses. We have Nora Landry will be covering our Algebra 9 course, and she just came on board with us a few days ago. So we're really excited about her, mainly because she will have that whole cohort, excuse me, of Algebra 9 together and won't have you mixed with other high schoolers. We have more information to come on our geometry teacher. It is being worked on as we speak. So as soon as we have that information, as well as the information on art and Phi-Ed, we will get that information to you as soon as possible.
I see a technology question there about a trade-in of a Chromebook. So we do have a number of families who might have loaner Chromebooks that replaced a device that was broken during distance learning or over summer. So yes, you would be able to bring that trade-in when you come to get the device. So let's see, Rebecca, do you know the numbers on the 8th grade cohort?
Yeah, so we are around 90 in the 8th grade cohort, last I checked. And just to be honest with you, there have been some changes. We have a waiting list that we're drawing from because as the district decided to go to distance learning, some students felt that it would be better to go back to their home school and do distance learning. So luckily, we have a big waiting list that we're drawing from. Our numbers are doing great, but they change a little bit throughout this week and throughout last week. I see, is there going to be a language like Spanish or French? Last year, our school board voted to eliminate those from the middle school. So no, we are not offering Spanish or French. You'll notice that we don't have a separate reading course either. I know in 8th grade, that wasn't something, but when you were 6th graders, you had a reading course. And when you were 7th graders, you had reading every other day. And the reading course is now combined with language arts. So it's English language arts course altogether.
I see a math question there. So if you've already taken Algebra 8, then you would move up into a 9th grade math course, so the content of a 9th grade course.
Yep. Any changes, anything that would be different, any family was contacted with that. But if you were in Algebra 8 and you'd be moving on into intermediate algebra, then it should show on the schedules.
And if your schedule looks wrong, parents and students, please contact us. Send me an email. There were a few issues with the transfer of when we transferred you from your last school over to Bloomington Online School. There were a few issues transferring and glitches. So in a few instances, it didn't all come over. So I have heard from a few of you, which has been great, and we've been able to clear it up really easily. It's easy to check the transcript, know that you passed, and move you on to the 9th grade course or the 10th grade course. I saw one asking, do we need to have our cameras on during Google Meets? Andrew, do you want to talk about that?
Sure. So as we think about using cameras, there will be moments where your teacher will ask you to have your camera on. It does help with communication at times to be able to see the other person and be able to talk even over a screen. And then there would be times where the teacher would say, if you'd like to turn your cameras off and still engage in the work and still participate, obviously, that would be part of the teacher kind of making choices around how people engage during the time.
There's a few questions from a little bit farther up in the thread regarding band and asking about if we will be offering band instead, or just the general music class. Who wants to take that one?
All right, so I can answer that one. So as of right now, we'll be offering only band as our music kind of elective or exploratory. So that was really a decision around looking at enrollment and what is possible, especially when we think about instruments and kind of the lessons we do in an online format. So that is, and then I don't know if Ray wants to say more about music exploration as it relates to instrumental music, or
at this point, I would say that it's based on the music you listen to. If you choose to do your project using your instrument, I have no problem with that. That's a great way to share your music. So the way the course is going to be structured is going to be looking at your music your way. So there are definitely ways to incorporate the instruments that you do play, or to just try something in a new way. So I hope that answers the question.
Is there a specific dress code that will be wanted to follow? So obviously there isn't a dress code other than to be appropriately dressed for joining in on live sessions like this. So that means that's the important part, is knowing that when I join a Google Meet, I'm on camera at times and I need to be appropriately dressed for that situation.
I know from working in a middle school, you may be wondering about hats or hoods, which are totally cool at Bloomington Online School, just so you know.
All right, so we'll give it maybe another minute here for extra questions that are coming in. There is a Bloomington Online School homepage. We have a homepage for information right now on the Bloomington Public Schools website. So if you go into the Bloomington Public Schools website and you search Bloomington Online School, you'll find that link pop to the top of your search.
Yeah, haircuts are, I'm commenting, it says, yay for hats, my son would need a haircut otherwise. Absolutely. I think all of us are in need of a haircut at this point. So absolutely. That's one of those things that it's fun to be able to make a decision on. You don't have to necessarily go along with what the other middle schools have decided.
All right, so I think we'll wrap up for the night. I do want to thank everybody for joining us. Rebecca, do you have any final words for us there?
I just want to say thank you so much for choosing Bloomington Online School. We are so excited about learning with you and in this new format. And we can't wait to see you and to get started. Your teachers are working so hard every day to be ready and to come up with engaging, interesting material that I think that it's going to be a wonderful year for all of us. There is just one question I'm coming back to. I know that we're trying to wrap up. It says, I believe there are questions if band is an option or orchestra. So again, general music exploration is our exploratory for music. That is the exploratory for music this year. And I think that's with that. If you have other questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, send us an email, reach out to any one of us, and we'll be happy to help you out.
Absolutely. All right. Have a great evening, everybody.
Thank you so much.